Monday. This morning, I really wanted to hit the snooze button. Oh man, I heard it ringing and it was 5:30 and I'm just thinking of all of these excuses and reasons I could hit snooze and stay in bed for 10 more minutes or 30 more minutes. Nobody's up in my house. Nobody would know if I got up and ran on the treadmill today. But here's the problem. I would know. And then the rest of the day, I'd probably sell myself that I was a failure because I didn't do what I committed to doing, what I know would be a great habit. Have you ever felt like that? John Maxwell says that the secret to our success is determined by our daily agenda. So, what is one habit that you feel like you failed to master? Is it that you're always hitting the snooze button and you really, really want to get up and go running or go to the gym or do something to get up early because successful people are always sticking to these routines and these habits that serve them in success, but you just can't seem to get there? What is it? Do you feel like you lack willpower? Do you feel like it's a self-discipline thing? The truth is, you're not alone. And there are other forces at work that are stopping you from achieving those successful habits. You see, we live in a culture that is constantly subliminally selling us that you should get rich and do less. You should, lose weight and do less to get that habit achieved. We live in a culture that is full of these, what's the word? Lies is a good word, but all of these expectations that make us feel like we can achieve it, but we don't have to do anything to actually make it happen. And where do we bridge the gap, right? Between these expectations of excellence for ourselves and this desire to get there. We bridge the gap with something we like to call intentional action. And how you do that is that you limit the amount of thinking that you're doing and increase the amount of action. I call this the 80-20 rule, because when we sabotage our efforts as leaders and entrepreneurs and CEOs, it's typically because we're thinking 80% of the time about what we should be doing and only doing in the affirmative those tasks that we want to be doing to accomplish 20% of the time. We need to flip that around. So you want to get into the place where you are taking intentional action 80% of the time towards achieving your goals, towards weight loss, towards inspiring your team to reach their goals, to reaching more prospects as an entrepreneur, and thinking 20% of the time. And that 20% of the time that you're thinking should be strategic thinking, should be planning, figuring out your next right decision, but getting into the zone to be successful, which will ultimately lead to happiness, because success and happiness go very hand in hand. So I want to encourage you today, choose one habit that you've been trying to make happen and be intentional about thinking about it less and doing it more.